Welcome back to Cultural Geography. For you students, this is the first video of the next week. So we're at week 2 of the online classes. You should have already taken the Chapter 16 test, as well as done both quizzes for Chapter 17 and the additional homeworks that were all found in your first packet. You should have turned all that in, and you should have received your second packet of information. Second packet, there's the Chapter 17 test, as well as just notes for the beginning of Chapter 18. If you don't have that, then you can hold off until next week before you get it. But if it's next week, if it's Monday already, then good job. Keep up. Let's get going. We're doing Roman numeral 4, the last section of Chapter 17. Tuesday and Wednesday of this week will be your review and test day over this material. Reminder, you will not be doing a countries and capitals over the test anymore. There's no reason to do it, but everything else will still be expected from you. And then on Thursday will be the first video for Chapter 18. Friday is Good Friday. We don't have school. And then, of course, with Easter weekend coming up, we want you to be able to enjoy that time. If you're not able to go to church to celebrate Easter, make sure that you do so either listening on the radio or tuning in online to some service that is being broadcasted online. That way we can honor and glorify God in everything we do. But we're at Roman numeral 4, the country of Iran or Iran, depending on how you like to pronounce it. Let's get going into it. There's this flag located there. There's a picture of the capital, Tehran. Letter A, geographic overview. Iran is the second largest country in the Persian Gulf after Saudi Arabia. It's a little larger than the state of Alaska. The climate is mostly arid and semi-arid, except along the Caspian Sea where it's subtropical. Most of the country is mountainous, with basins and narrow coastal plains. 10% of the land is arable. First of all, the Zagros Mountains. The Zagros Mountains is located in the southwestern part of the country. Here on the PowerPoint, you can see the country of Iran. The Zagros Mountains are located right in this area. This area of Iran was known as ancient Persia. After all, the people who live here are not Arabs, but Persians. In fact, Iran was called Persia until 1935. The Elburz Mountains. These are located in the northern part of Iran near the Caspian Sea. These mountains rise as high as 18,000 feet above sea level. The capital, Tehran, is also located in these mountains. Tehran, the capital, is the largest city in the Persian Gulf region. So the largest city in this entire chapter. Over 12 million people live in Tehran. Number 3, the Khuzestan Plain is located in the southern part of Iran. It's an extension of the Mesopotamia Plain in Iraq. And then number 4, the Eastern Deserts. The eastern half of Iran is a desert plateau about 3,000 feet above sea level. If you could take a pause and look at page 431 in your textbooks, there is a pink box entitled Persepolis that I want you to read on your own. Once you have finished, you may continue. All right, moving on. Religious overview. There are several different types of religions, some unique, some just smaller parts of the whole of religions located in Iran. Probably the oldest religion in this country is a religion known as Zoroastrianism. It's the ancient religion of the Persian Empire. Zoroastrianism was an attempt at a monotheistic form of Hinduism. Generally, they believe in a good God and an evil spirit who oppose each other, and people, us, are stuck in the middle. Zoroastrians were persecuted by the Muslims, and today only a small minority of the populace follows Zoroastrianism. The most dominant religion in Iran is Shia Islam. Remember, we've talked about the difference between Shia and Sunni Islam. Sunni Islam is the most common around the world. Shia is most common, however, in Iran, as well as Iraq and a couple other countries. It's the dominant religion in Iran. About 90% of the people follow Shia Islam. Christianity does exist, but it's severely persecuted in Iran. Iran forbids the sale of Bibles in bookstores and bars Iranians from attending church services. The Iranian government required all citizens to identify their religion and has used that information to keep all Christians out of power. Converts from Islam are threatened with torture unless they deny their new faith in Christ. Today, there are just a few 100,000 Christians in the country. Another religion is called Baha'ism. This religion promotes the unity of all religions. It began in Iran by 2 renegade Muslims. Persecution followed, but the movement has moved to other countries as well. Another religion is called Sufism. It's a type of mystical Islam that teaches that nothing exists except God. In other words, they are basically Muslim pantheists. We talked about pantheism in an earlier chapter. On page 432, there's another pink box that I want you to read to yourself. It's called The Breakdown of Iranian Society. Please read that to yourself and then continue once you have finished. Moving on. Recent developments. A couple more terms, or a couple more things that are worth noting. Iran used to be ruled by a person called a Shah. Shah was a former hereditary leader of Iran. Shah would be a title similar to a sultan or a king or an emperor. During the mid-20th century, Iran was actually an ally of the U.S. against the Soviet Union. However, the Shah's policy of modernizing did not appeal to most Muslims, and in 1979 they staged a revolution and overthrew the Shah. The main man, I guess you could say the figurehead of this revolution, was Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. Khomeini was the leader of the Iranian Revolution that sought to reestablish Muslim rule in Iran. So now we've talked about 3 different names this chapter. We mentioned Ibn Saud is associated with Saudi Arabia. We mentioned Saddam Hussein is mentioned with Iraq. And now Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini is associated with Iran. Make sure you know those 3 people to those 3 countries. Ayatollah is a title that Khomeini had, and Ayatollah is considered the highest title of honor that a Shia Muslim can hold. They established, that is, the revolution established an Islamic republic in which Sharia law dictates how Iran is ruled. Sharia law, what's that? Sharia law is the Islamic religious law system. Here in the U.S., we've got secular law, laws that everyone has to abide by. They're based upon common sense. They're based upon written law, the Constitution. But in Iran, they don't have secular law. Their law is religious. They stormed the U.S. Embassy. They kidnapped 77 hostages, which they held captive for 444 days. It was a big deal back in 1979 into 1980. Today, Iran still desires to spread this revolution around the world. It has attempted to obtain nuclear capabilities. In fact, the last president of Iran has stated his desire to wipe Israel from the face of the map, and probably the same to the U.S. They strongly oppose U.S. efforts in the region and have used terrorism for their own agendas. In short, Iran remains a potentially explosive element in the Middle East. That, my students, is the end of the notes. For your homework, you need to do pages 153 and 154 in your activities book. It's a chapter review. There's some underline answers, some matching sections, some short answers as well. Page 153 and 154 in the activities book. Reminder that for your Tuesday and Wednesday days, you are reviewing and taking the Chapter 17 test. If you have any questions, please email me or Skype me. Let me know what you have, what kind of questions you may have. Otherwise, hope you all have a good rest of the day. Be good, do good.